hold your hand still for just a second. Seriously, can you feel your pulse? You know that subtle, almost unnoticeable spike in your heart rate you get when you hold a solid gold bar? Well, spoiler alert, that isn't Reed. It's actually an ancient biological hack. Today, we're not talking about portfolios or stock markets. We're figuring out exactly why this one specific heavy metal completely bypasses our rational, thinking brains and taps straight into our primal survival instincts. We're doing an alchemical deconstruction of Aurum. We are stripping away all the myths, the pirate legends, the basic Wall Street advice, and we're decoding the true power of gold across 4 very distinct layers of human existence. Let's just completely deconstruct this obsession. Because, you see, long before anyone ever stamped a face onto a coin, and long before the very first empires even thought to draw borders in the sand, this obsession wasn't about money. It was literally a biological imperative. Which brings us to part 1, the brain's instinct. If we want to understand value, we kind of have to crack open our own skulls first. We have to stop looking at gold as a financial asset and start seeing it for what it really is, a neurological superstimulus. Long before gold was ever traded, the shimmer of this metal effectively hijacked our brain's evolutionary circuits. I mean, think about it. To our ancient ancestors wandering the savannah, a high gloss reflection in the distance meant one absolutely crucial thing: life-saving, fresh running water. It's a built-in survival mechanism called gloss detection. So when light hits gold, it hijacks that exact same visual system. That dynamic gleam triggers a novelty response, and bam, your midbrain is flooded with a sudden rush of dopamine. Add in our inherent cognitive bias that intuitively links high density and physical weight to profound importance, and you've got a recipe for complete neurological capture. Gold literally becomes a super stimulus for the human nervous system. Honestly, if you treat the periodic table like a video game stat screen, gold is just completely overpowered. It outclasses every other metal in the exact traits our brains are hardwired to crave. It combines this massive density and eternal reflective gloss, and, this is key, total resistance to tarnishing. Iron rusts, right? Copper turns green, silver tarnishes, but gold? It's this perfect convergence point of adaptive signals. It stays brilliantly warm and flawless forever. It doesn't just have one attractive trait, it literally holds them all simultaneously. But humans didn't just stay out there in the wild forever. And that leads us to section 2, cultural encoding. As we built societies, we took this inescapable, deeply rooted biological craving, and we essentially weaponized it into culture. Ancient civilizations didn't just stumble into this. They didn't decide gold was valuable by accident or through some random committee meeting. They built entire cultures around the sensory experience it delivered. Take the ancient Egyptians. They believed gold was the literal flesh of the gods, precisely because it refused to decay. Because it never tarnished, they associated it with eternal life. Because it shone, it was divine. Culture basically just formalized what our nervous systems had already been screaming at us from the very beginning. And get this, even today, in our hyper-digitized modern era, human emotion still completely crushes pure logic. Nearly half, almost 50% of all gold demand globally is still traditional physical jewelry. From a pure mathematical standpoint, buying a digital fraction of a gold bar or an ETF makes way more financial sense, right? There are zero storage fees, no security risks. But that deep, primal human need for a physical, emotional attachment to the metal, it completely wins out over mere efficiency every single time. And this creates a really fascinating global split in how humanity interacts with wealth. Over in Western financial hubs, gold is generally treated as this cold, sterile tool. It's a macroeconomic hedge against inflation, traded on glowing screens, just to diversify a portfolio. But look toward Eastern societies, and you see something entirely different. Gold is woven deeply into the DNA of life cycle events, weddings, festivals, you name it. It provides social prestige and profound emotional security. It's an intergenerational transfer of absolute prosperity that you can actually wear on your skin. But here's the catch. To actually act as that ultimate symbol of immortality, it demands absolute precision. Emotion and ancient legends are really only half the story. To survive as the ultimate standard across millennia, the physical reality of the metal itself must be completely flawless. Which pulls us out of human psychology and drops us right into section 3, the anatomy of purity. This is the brutal, unforgiving realm of hard chemistry. The crucial reality here is that 24 karat, or what is industrially known as 5N gold, achieves an almost impossible purity standard of 99.99%. And let me be clear, this isn't just to make a necklace look pretty. This level of extreme refinement is an absolute necessity for modern life. Without this 99.99% purity, the highly conductive microchips running the exact smartphone or computer you're probably using to listen to me right now, they would corrode, short out, and completely fail. And to guarantee this practically impossible purity, the industry relies on rigorous quality management frameworks and certified ISO standards. We're a long way from a merchant biting a coin to see if the metal is soft enough to be real. Today, it's about institutionalizing perfection. Every single ounce has to be verified down to its core. Scientists actually hunt down microscopic impurities using highly advanced equipment, stuff like an inductive coupled plasma optical emission spectrometer. Tracing that 3 times fast. They're actively searching for trace amounts of silver, magnesium, iron, copper. We're talking about the pursuit of absolute perfection being a relentless battle measured in mere milligrams per liter. Every single atom that is out of place is hunted down and removed. But you know what? Even chemistry isn't the final boss here. To truly understand gold, we have to zoom way out, past the atomic level, past human culture, straight into Section 4, the law of value, and the fundamental laws of physics that govern the universe itself. Have you ever stopped and wondered why anything has value at all? Well, the entropy theory of value states that economic worth isn't just made up by human minds. It actually obeys the laws of thermodynamics. Value demands 2 very specific things: extreme scarcity and low equivocation. Now, low equivocation is really just a fancy scientific way of saying it requires absolutely zero brain power to identify. You don't need a PhD in geology to know you're looking at gold, right? It just announces itself. It all boils down to this elegant little equation. Value equals the negative logarithm of probability. In simpler terms, the scarcer something is, the more it's worth. But here is the massive secret that most people miss. Scarcity alone is completely useless. If a rare item takes way too much time, energy, or expert knowledge to verify, say authenticating a deeply obscure rare painting, its functional value drops dramatically because the effort to prove it's real outweighs the benefit. But gold? Gold shines immediately. It proves exactly what it is the very second light hits it. It demands no effort to be known. Gold is the perfect economic battery. Think about the universe for a second. Everything is constantly breaking down. Iron rusts, wood rots, empires eventually fall. That is entropy. But gold actively fights that chaotic decay. It is frozen perfection. It doesn't rust, it doesn't decay, and it remains instantly, flawlessly recognizable across thousands of years. So when you hold a piece of gold, you aren't just looking at a financial hedge. You aren't just holding a cultural artifact or an ancient biological trigger. You are holding a physical anchor in a chaotic, constantly decaying universe. Is gold merely money, or is it our most enduring weapon against the entropy of the cosmos? Think about that the next time you see something shine.